A podcast, a microphone, and one sentence. And suddenly, diplomacy is on fire. Welcome to TimesXP, and it all began with comments made by the US Ambassador Mike Huckabee. Not in a press conference, not in an official White House statement, but during a podcast conversation with Tucker Carlson. And you know what he suggested? He suggested that Israel would be justified in controlling large parts of the Middle East. And that one line, it was enough. Enough to shake capitals, enough to trigger the outrage, enough to force Washington into damage control. In fact, across the Arab world, reactions were swift. Statements, private calls, diplomatic warning. Because the region is already tensed, and words, specifically from American officials, they carry weight, heavy weight. Behind the scenes, senior officials from the Trump administration, they moved quickly. Phone lines lit up. Messages were sent to Arab governments. The clarification was simple that those comments, they were personal views, not official US policy here. In fact, Deputy Secretary of State Chris, he reportedly reassured the partners. Well, there has been no change in America's formal position, no green light for expansion, no policy shift. But in diplomacy, reassurance after controversy, it is never easy. Because once a statement is out, it cannot be unheard. Now, this controversy lands at a very sensitive time. The US has been trying to deepen Israel's integration into the region, encourage normalization, build the new partnership, strengthen economic and security ties. But trust is delicate, rather very delicate. Now, add another layer here. President Donald Trump has previously said that he does not support Israeli annexation of the West Bank. Now, that position was meant to calm the fear, to show some sort of balance here to avoid inflaming the tension. So, when an ambassador appears to suggest something broader, questions erupt. Is policy shifting? Is Washington changing course? Or was this simply personal opinion? Well, reports suggest that regional leaders, including those who are close to Saudi leadership, they express strong concern. In the Middle East, perception is powerful. Even unofficial remarks could be interpreted as signal, and signals can reshape alliances. That phrase, Israeli expansionism, it is deeply sensitive. It touches on decades of conflict, borders, sovereignty, identity. When American officials appear to validate aggressive territorial ideas, even hypothetically, it kind of unsettles the partners. So now, Washington is walking a tightrope, reassuring the Arab allies, maintaining support for Israel, and prevent diplomatic fallout all at the same time. This episode highlights a bigger reality here. In today's world, a podcast, it can trigger a geopolitical ripple. A single remark, it can complicate months of quiet negotiations. Diplomacy is no longer confined to conference rooms. It lives in interviews, in viral clips, in public narrative, and the question now is not just about one ambassador's words. It's about credibility. Can Washington convince Arab partners that its policy remains steady? Can it really continue the efforts to integrate Israel without alienating the key regional players? And can one clarification undo a week of outrage? Well, the Middle East watches carefully because in this region, history remembers every sentence, and sometimes the biggest diplomatic fires, it starts with just one comment.